Welcome back inside TD Garden, everybody. My name is Mike Petraglia, joined as always by Celtics writer for WEEI.com, Sam Packard. Sam, the Celtics, on the heels of losing 4 straight, have now won 3 straight. An impressive 91-79 win over the division-leading Toronto Raptors. Yes, the Raptors did not have Kyle Lowry at their disposal. He sat out for precautionary reasons because of a sore right elbow. We found that out just before the game. Also, no Patrick Patterson. And it was Brad Stevens after the game saying, yes, both of those players were not available, but he thought that his team, the Celtics, did a good job of executing, especially down the stretch. When the Raptors made their run, the Celtics had an answer.
They did a real great job of pick and roll defense, especially late in the game. In the fourth quarter, they only gave up 33 points for the entire second half.
Right.
And that's I think the lowest number they've done all season. There's really nothing the Raptors could do. They had really DeMar DeRozan was the only person scoring points early in the game. He only had 2 points in the fourth, and they put the clamps down on him. They started doubling down low, and the Raptors really didn't have an answer.
Marky Mark was in the house. Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, Fun Bunch, was on hand to see Isaiah Thomas, his new friend in the NBA, do his thing. Back-to-back three-pointers in the fourth quarter, really key for Isaiah Thomas and the Celtics. He pointed to Marky Mark. Mark Wahlberg in the front row had to find him out, and then Wahlberg pointed back. But it was that was a really good, fun backdrop for the Celtics to enjoy, for Isaiah Thomas to enjoy. But Isaiah Thomas, on a serious basketball note, scores over 20 points for his 10th straight game. He has really become the go-to guy. This isn't really breaking news, but to do it on such a stage down the stretch of a late season run in which a team is trying to get ready for the playoffs, for him to be the go-to guy and respond the way he is really impressive.
Well, you can see he's the person the Celtics rely on. Early in the fourth quarter, the Celtics missed their first 5 shots. The second unit was struggling again. Brad Stevens immediately calls a timeout, puts Isaiah in the game. Boom, he hits a 3. Boom, he hits another 3, points to Mark Wahlberg. And at that point, the game's kind of in hand. The Raptors did a good job to claw back, but whenever they really needed it, Isaiah Thomas is there to provide a basket. And it's just amazing the way he can both finish around the rim at his size and then still be able to shoot as well as he does. There's really no one has really created an answer for him, so when he's playing this well, the Celtics are likely to win.
I don't think enough people have talked enough about Evan Turner so far this season. And, in the time that Jay Crowder has been injured, Marcus Smart got the first 2 games without Jay Crowder. He got the start, but the last 4, it has been Evan Turner in that starting lineup. 17 points in this win over the Raptors, and he was really a key when the Raptors were able to put some defensive pressure on Isaiah. To have the ability to go to an Evan Turner and for him to respond with 17 points, I think on, 7 of 13 shooting, is pretty good.
Well, he is, after Isaiah Thomas, he's really the only player on the Celtics who can create his own shot. And that's, especially when they're playing on the floor together, when all the focus is on Isaiah, to have Evan Turner to be able to drive and kick and just hit those mid-range shots is invaluable to the Celtics. I think he scored 13 points in the third quarter, and that's really where we saw the Celtics extend their lead and build up their lead. And I think Evan Turner's also a very underrated passer. We saw him have 2 nice alley-oops to Avery tonight, and then another play where he did nice dribble drive in the lane and dished it off to Amir, a nice pass to Jonas for a dunk. He's just really an all-around player, and I think he's playing very well in Jay Crowder's absence, and I think it's part of the reason why the second unit is not doing as well, because they miss his playmaking ability when he's not on the floor.
We also saw a serious side, Sam, to Evan Turner after the game when he was asked about that technical at the end of the first quarter. He got pushed to the ground, and he sort of pushed back, and he looked at the official and said, "I'm not going to take this." And after the game, he thought it was all a bunch of bull crap to clean it up just a bit. But I think, he might be hearing from the league about this. But I think it's Evan Turner's way of saying, I'm not going to take it. I'm going to stand up for myself. And you have to give him some credit for that.
Yeah, he said he was reminded of a time in college where he actually has a similar play, and he actually broke his back, I believe. And I think that brought up real bad memories for him. And he said Evan Turner's a talker. He has great quotes. And I'm sure he has relationships with every ref. And at this point, he just went over the edge. He said he's had used language like that before. This time, it didn't work for him. I thought the refs didn't really give the Celtics many calls tonight. There are some situations where he saw Marcus Smart was very, very frustrated. But it's going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if Evan Turner got fined a decent amount from the league.
I would not be either. And let's wrap it up with the the coach. I had a chance to ask Brad Stevens after the game about clinching the first winning season in his NBA career. Of course, the Celtics improved to 42-30 with the victory, and that means the Celtics will have a winning record. They were 40-42 last year, and he said, I was not hired as coach of the Boston Celtics to win 42 games. I think that sets a good tone going on this 5-game road trip out west.
He's one of the most even-keeled people I've ever encountered, and I still don't really have a true grasp on what his personality is. And I'm excited to see what happens when this team finally does accomplish something and win, because I think if they won a playoff series, he's going to say, I'm here to win a championship. If they won the Eastern Conference, he's going to say, I'm here to win a championship.
Right.
So if they ever actually do win a championship, I don't know what his reaction will be, because I don't know if he has that kind of that joyous moment in him, because I haven't seen it before. There's that one great video of him at Butler when they made the Final Four, and that's about it. He's just one of the most even-keeled guys, and I think it's one of the reasons the players respect him, and he's had so much success so far.
What should we look for on this road trip out west? It starts Saturday night in Phoenix. They have a couple of games in Los Angeles against the Lakers and the Clippers. They have the Warriors, and they have the Portland Trailblazers. This is a very tough stretch.
I think the biggest thing is when is Jay Crowder going to return? He's going on the trip. He actually got some shots up today before the game. But in the locker room before the game, he's not in a walking boot. He's just walking around in sandals. And then he puts it on for the game. It depends on when he returns, because if he's back for that Warriors game, they may have a chance, although the Warriors never really lose at home. But with him on the court, they have a very good shot of beating the Clippers and the Trailblazers. If he's not on the court, it's going to be a challenge. And the Phoenix game and the Lakers game become very important, because those become must-wins on such a tough 5-game trip.
And obviously at 42-30, the Celtics are still very much in the race for that number 3 spot. And if they clinch that number 3 spot, not only would you be getting home court in the first round, you would also most probably avoid the Cleveland Cavaliers in the second round. But we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. The Celtics have some business to take care of out west. They take care of business here on Wednesday night, improving to 42-30 with a 91-79 win over the Atlantic Division leading Toronto Raptors, the first time they have beaten Toronto in 4 tries this season. Inside TD Garden for Sam Packard, I'm Mike Petraglia, WEEI.com.